Okay, so what I've done today is the face is drying matte, so I'm not bothering that. Last night I played a little bit in the shirt. I started playing a little bit in here today. And so what I forgot to mention to you guys is as you're painting and you're putting down brush strokes, try not to blend too early. You know, sometimes I blend a little bit too early, and that's not a good thing. It's best to put it down and try to. Your brush strokes should follow the form. If I'm thinking of my arm as a cylinder, then I try to make my brush strokes do that. Whether if I'm doing it like this or doing it like this or however I'm doing it. So try your best to make your brush strokes go with your form. Okay. I've been working on getting the lighter planes. I had to take a break because I had to go cook. I had to go cook a little bit, and that's real life, right? I had to go cook, and but I am still thinking of these planes. Trying not to blend too fast, you know, because I am a victim of that. I am someone who does that too early from time to time, and you know, we all make mistakes like that. Just go back and just tell yourself, well, okay, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, so I won't overblend. What happens when you overblend? You tend to flatten out your image. So you'll put this wonderful light plane down, and then you'll take it out just by blending too much. Hold off on the blending a bit. So I do my best to do that, you know, each time. Following the form as best I can. So I'll build these light planes up, and then I am thinking of the transitional values in between light, middle to dark value, you know. So I am lining this up. Using a little bit of medium, not a whole lot. I don't want to use too much medium because I don't want it to dry too fast. I want to have it so I'm able to work it a little bit more. You know, work on it tomorrow or even later on this evening if I have to. See, I have a hairy arm, so what I'll do is first work the form, and for me, then I'll start to work some of the hair in. I am not trying to be a photorealist with this. I will suggest the hairs on my arm because I want your visual to be up here in the face. So I don't want to give too much of a presence to the hair on the arm, you know. If you get your values right, you'll naturally blend too without blending. You would naturally blend without trying to blend that to get things soft. Value, gradation. So if you're painting and you want something to feel three-dimensional, you think of that word, gradation, you know. The values should follow one another. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm just working off the palette. Whatever color is here, I'm just, adding a lighter tone to it if needed. Um, but I'm not doing anything fancy. Put a little bit more warm in the knuckle areas. You know. Let's go back and sort of define this just a bit more. What's going on in this passage. Saving the heavy detail stuff for later. So I'm being sort of stingy with thinking about anything in here. Any type of detail. My wedding ring. I'm gonna get all that in there. But right now, I need to get the form of the arm. I need to get the light. I need to get the light right. I don't feel like the light is as good as it can be or it should be. Sometimes I will crosshatch, and the reason being is to knock out some of the glare that sometimes invade what I'm trying to do here. I told myself that when this is matte, then I won't touch it. But boy, it takes discipline not to go up there. Because when it's matte, that means your oils have sunken into the canvas a bit, And then, so when you're painting black people, whenever you're painting African American people, we're using more earth tones, so it will sink more. Even though I'm adding a lot of oil into it, it's still sinking. So if I want to match my values better, I have to be patient, let it dry, oil out, and then go back at it to try to match the local color as well as the values that I was seeing, And so not just from my photo reference, but from me looking in the mirror too, because I do look at myself from time to time in the mirror because I'm interested in, okay, am I seeing this color or am I seeing that color or that value or this value? So it's a challenge. Just remember to, if you need to oil out, just stay patient. Just stay patient with it, and don't go into it until you're ready. Let it get bone dry before you oil out. Because if you try to oil out and it's still wet, you're just going to smear all of this wonderful work that you've put into it. I'm going to restate the darks underneath the arm, underneath this arm, because I'm not seeing what I should be seeing. Well, let's go back and, so I'm just mixing a really dark violet using the alizarin crimson permanent and some ultramarine blue, and maybe a touch of ivory black in there, just a touch. But I want the squinting down real good, but I want the crimson to speak more. Just a shadow that I have to remember to make this feel airy. How do you make shadows feel airy? You know, you can put a cool color in it, but you just want to lighten them up a little bit too. So let's say, for instance, if I dip into the violet just a little bit. Let's see if that'll help it a little bit. We want that airiness to be in there. You know, you don't want it to be too dark. It's a wonderful color that's coming off of here that I need to attempt, and that's just adding some more crimson to the mixture. And then a little bit more of a violet-y color in there. Let's see if this works. Because I want to feel that warm glow that's coming off of there. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think I can go just a little bit, even just a little bit lighter in there, because I want to feel that airiness. Dipping into my medium quite a bit. Let's see how that looks. Not too light. Let's try it again. Yes, we want it to feel like it's air in there, you know, and it's not too, let's take this around. You got it on your brush, move it around. If you can see somewhere else to put it, just move it around. Squinting down a little bit. This is on my brush. I could use that warm, because it's some warm that's in this section of my arm as it turns. I may need to beef it up a little bit. Squinting down. Now some of this is starting to dry. So I have to be careful that I don't overwork anything. Meaning that I don't start to mess anything up. I don't want to have to keep repainting the same area. That's what I'm trying to. Excuse me, but I'm in my thoughts while I'm painting, so sometimes I get a little bit sidetracked because I'm thinking. The goal is to someday have it think, meaning that I've worked so hard to where it is thinking, to where I don't have to think, that it just naturally happened. But sometimes it takes a while to get to that point. My earlier years, I actually studied karate for many years, and you know, that would be part of our goal is to work so hard to where it was doing the thinking, and it was just a reflex from us, you know, because we put so much hard work in. step back a little bit and you can take a look at it. I'm going to force some of these lighter values in here. Just for now, I can always go back and I could work them a little bit more later. I could take them down a little bit, but I'm just going to force them in there just for now, because I want to start to feel the fingers and how those lighter planes sort of, and it may be a bit, it may just be a bit too light right now, but I'll go back and I'll take it down a little bit. But I want to just start to feel my hand just a little bit more. Squinting down a little bit. And then, so what's really nice about this too is that I'm working wet on wet. So I'm really getting a nice, just a natural blend here with, because the paint is still wet. This area gonna need a little bit more work, especially that back arm. But I'm looking at this area here as well. See how I feel like I'm turning with the forearm here, I just went across it just not to blend, but to get it so I could see. So I'll take my brush in a little bit. There's a strong light hitting there. I don't know that I want it that strong. And down here, because I don't want the eye to push there too much, but I do want to test it. Put it in and test it and see, wow, okay, will this work or will that work? So I'm exploring. I never stop exploring. That's what I do. If I have a gift, it's the gift of messing a painting up. I have a gift of continue to explore, and probably mess it up for a while, but that's okay. But you want to get it the way you want it to be. So I have my light source. It's hitting in here, but it's hitting this pretty strong because of the position of the arm. It's turned into the light like that. So this particular part. So I'm having to go back and sort of revisit that area quite a bit because I don't feel good about it yet. And like I said, for this, some of these are just mapping strokes. They're just color notes. They're just strokes that'll guide me so I can see if my drawing is correct. Because I'm not always sure that my drawing is correct. So I'll go and I'll put marks in certain areas that'll help me, that'll help me. So I don't want to do too much detail down in this area yet, and then in this area yet, until I feel like the arm is solid. This is just remember, I just whisper over not blending, just whisper and just brush with the light so I can see what I'm painting here. It's been a lot of fun painting my self-portrait. I know that it's gonna have to end soon. I'm gonna work on this chair after the fact, but the chair has to grow, I know, with the arms. So they go together as a unit. So I am going to have to go in there sooner or later and really get to working the chair too. I won't do too much to the chair because I do want it to have a, I don't want the painting is not about the chair. So, you know, like you're in school and stuff and you had to come up with the main idea. You know, you read those passages and then they tell you, hey, what's the main idea? You know, they get to asking you that. Well, then that's the same thing that happened with this, with the chair, you know. It's not the main idea. I want to give it some love, but I don't want it to be, I don't want to give it too much love to where it's just loved. So I think I'm going to slow it down for now. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to let that dry. This is dry. So tomorrow I'm going to work on the chair in this bottom section. If this is tacky or pliable, then I'll go back into it tomorrow and strengthen the lights. I think I'm decent with the darks. And, hey, let's get this back section here that I don't want to leave out. Back here, this thing is a little bit too. Yes, so I'll let some stuff dry. I've been putting in some darks and some lights to give the painting more weight because I didn't have enough weight. So I'm pushing in some darks and some spots to make the shirt, to make the body underneath have a little bit more weight. So I have to push some lights in too. Because remember, because I stayed in the middle for a while, so now I'm pushing beyond the middle. In this area now, I got to push beyond the middle. So that's it for today.